Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inside Sage Grey, a thought leadership series where we bring together industry leaders and business experts to speak about the latest happenings on their various sectors in Nigeria. I'm Francis Wanukwalo, and today we'll be discussing how technology platforms are creating value, trust, and new economic opportunities. In this session, we'll be exploring how technology don't just solve real-time problems, but how technology can also create economic opportunities and help SMEs thrive in the complex environment. And today, joining us would be Michelle Olea, the Senior Analyst, Project and Finance at SageGrey Finance Limited. And we have Paul Ojetayo, Senior Business Analyst at SageGrey Finance Limited. Both Michelle and Paul are recognized experts in the technology solution business. It's wonderful to have you here in the show with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us. So we understand that SageGrey Tech has, in the past years, developed different technology. We have different products from SageGrey Tech. We have products like Split Multi that keys into providing credits to e-commerce, and then we have art blogs that tend to bring street adverts to people and products. We also have products like Trade Plus that enables inventory financing for vendors. And then, but today we ain't just looking at what SageGrey Tech is doing. We have one particular product in mind, which is Proxy. And then we tend to know that Proxy helps, it's one of the things that is actually building interest in the economy. We have people who would actually want to know what Proxy is all about. So in your own context, could you tell us what Proxy does and what was the intent of actually developing the app or the software called Proxy? Paul.
All right, so thank you. So I will say Proxy is an AI-driven verification, monitoring, and reporting platform. So at its simplest, what that means is that we allow organizations to see what is actually going on real time. They can monitor what is actually going on physically, which means that they don't have to be there, before they get to know what is actually going on. And the problem we've identified in the industry so far is that we've seen that people make a lot of assumption about what is actually going on because it has to do with unverified people verifying for them, and that level of trust is not there. But with Proxy, you can actually get to see what is actually going on real time. And then one thing about our core infrastructure in terms of the technology is that it's sitting on the fact that those evidence are geotagged, they are timestamped, and it's not like you can fake it. They are immutable. So that's what Proxy is actually solving.
Oh, okay. So we can hear from the name that the word proxy, it means someone acting on your behalf. So that concept, someone acting on your behalf, can you tell us, paint a real life scenario of how that actually comes in play when you're using the Proxy app?
Yeah, so just like I said, you can't be everywhere at the same time except you are the devil. So someone has to still act on your behalf, and that's what essentially Proxy does, right? You have to pay for people's time. We're trying to commoditize free time of people whereby you can say, okay, hey, Mr. Hey, come and do this for me. And then they are representing you. They serve as a proxy on your behalf, and then they get the job done.
Okay. So we got to understand that we have institutions like NCDMB that go about doing compliance monitoring and the rest. So can you tell us how can you actually use Proxy? How can institutions like NCDMB use Proxy and then to make their compliance monitoring more easier and efficient?
All right, so thank you. So part of the people that we've worked with so far, we've worked with financial institutions, we've worked with government body like NCDMB and different other government bodies, right? So for NCDMB, I would say Proxy helps in monitoring. Because NCDMB has to do with the midstream and then the downstream, so monitoring the offshores like the contractors, they help them to see most of their equipment, their pipeline, all of those things. So it helps them to see real time what is actually going on. And because those videos are not just ordinary video, they are not just video that you can just beckon on someone to do for you. Those videos are geotagged, and then you can only get to see the task that you are going to do based on the environment or based on the location that has been pinned on the platform.
Okay, so while you've been speaking, we've been hearing you say proxy is real time, it's geotag, it's a time stamped verification software, right? So, Michelle, I would like to ask these features that proxy has, being real time, being geotagged, and so on. How can that actually change how organizations can approach monitoring, compliance, and accountability?
Well, on proxy, when you have the real-time geotagged and timestamp videos, like Paul has said, it means that whoever is submitting these video reports to their principal or to the pilot organization, the kind of videos they are submitting has specific data capturing the exact location of where that video was taken, the exact time of when that video was taken. So you cannot submit a counterfeit video. In essence, you cannot doctor a video and submit it because the platform doesn't allow that, right? So this enables organizations to provide services to people that they are sure of. So in the case of NCDMB, whenever they're receiving reports from the field or from the offshore, they know that those videos were taken at the point they said that they were, at the exact location and at the exact time. You're not taking a video that was taken maybe 5 years ago and submitting it for reporting and compliance purposes, right? You're taking the video as at then.
Oh, okay. So it actually means that someone is there present on your behalf
Yes,
taking those.
someone has to be there. So like the name, like Paul said, the name proxy means someone is there on your behalf, right? The videos, the tasks, the videos or video requests are sent out in form of tasks, right? And you cannot even see, in some cases, see those tasks except you are at the exact location, right? You can't see those tasks if you are not in the vicinity. So if you need a video report somewhere specific, like maybe Festac, for example, someone cannot come who is in maybe VI or Ikoyi or Apapa and say, oh, let me submit this video, let me get this thing done, because they wouldn't even see the task to be done, right? So it reduces, it's in fact, not even reduces, it's 99.9999999% ensures accountability and trust in the videos that are being submitted.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So, building is and scaling up a platform like Proxy, it's not just something that is actually very easy. You have to look at things like the financial planning side. You're looking at disciplined investments. You're looking at partnership to support the long-term sustainability of this software. So, like, can you from your experience, what does it actually take from a finance perspective to build such a sophisticated app or software?
All right. So what it takes to build proxy, one, I would say it takes the people, right? So it's the people that's going to determine the process, and the process is going to determine how the product is going to turn out to be, right? So we've invested a lot in the people, right? So that we are bringing in talents that can actually do the magic, right? Now, I also say we've invested in infrastructure, because if you want to scale, you have to have that infrastructure, because we are getting more of data, right? And where the data sits is a very big deal for us on proxy. So we've partnered with one of the big giants in the industry, like MTN, data center, right? We also partner with different infrastructure. So we've invested a lot in terms of the infrastructure part. And I also say we also invested in AI, right? Because that's like the present. We don't say AI is the future. And Proxy strategically has also integrate AI into what we're trying to do. How can AI, right, process the video, right, make insight from the video, and then forecast into what the video can say. So
Okay, so you mentioned having to invest in people, having to invest in various sectors, right? So it means that there's a lot of cost you guys had to incur to actually make this happen. So, so how was it that Sage Great Tech could actually balance this cost so that it doesn't overburden the developers and every other person that are involved in it?
yeah. So I'll say, so when it comes to balancing, right, one, there has to be like a yardstick. Now, so there are some measures that have been set in place such that we don't go beyond, right? When I say beyond, it means that first we have our financial model. We have what we are measuring our like projection, our forecast with, and we have a situation whereby any anything that is going into the business, any decision that is being made is from a point of governance, is from a point of strategy, right, that can drive the whole business. So we are not just doing anything now. Anyhow, we are being strategic in our decision when it comes to finance.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. So speaking of finance, which of like what's your financial or your finance strategy that you find most effective? Is it internally driven or investment or partnership led or otherwise?
So for you to scale, right, you can't put all your egg in one basket, right? So you have to like spread your bread on water. So I would say one, it is internally driven, right? Being the fact that Security Finance has really been a lot of support, right? And I also say it also comes from strategic partnership with government, right? BOI, like different big players in the industry for us to scale. So it's not only internal. I will not say internal factor alone, but external also. So that's why I say for you to scale, you have to like spread your breads on water.
Okay, so how important has this partnership been? Like partnership with the government, partnership with the regulators, the private investors on scaling proxy. So
Uh, it has actually been a lot of great advantage because I would say one, the people, the proxy itself, right? Partnership with most of these players in the industry help us to like onboard a lot of proxy into the platform, right? It helps people to download our app on Play Store, on iOS Store. You can search for proxy, PROXZE, right? So it helps the product to like have a lot of good outlook there because the way people perceive your product matters a lot when it comes to like playing in an industry. So partnership with the government as a proxy.
I also think that it also helps foster trust in the product. I think before a lot of people use a product, they want to see that the product is backed by certain key players in the finance industry, such as SageGrade Finance or, like Paul rightly said, BOI. When people, when users or organizations see that strongholds in finance industry have bought into the dream that is proxy, that is now a reality, it does foster a bit of trust. They're like, oh, okay, so if these people can, back this product, that means it must be a good product, it's a trustworthy product. We have a bunch of users at the enterprise level and at the retail level who are making use of proxy, and it's working out well for them.
that's great. That's wonderful. So beyond institutional applications, we know that proxy has a stronger human and economic dimension. We're looking at things like where you're able to have young people act as proxies to earn money. You understand? It's like gives them that kind of a bit of, should I say, kind of employment. Yeah, because you tend to actually go into that aspect of providing employment to certain people who can't actually get them. But how significantly is this from an economic inclusion perspective?
So, from an economic inclusion perspective, I would say that proxy has significant impact on the economy at large, on the Nigerian economy at large, because we live in a time where getting jobs is not as easy. We have a lot of the unemployment rate at an all-time high. We have a lot of graduates, even those who were not even fortunate enough to finish school, looking for jobs, right? So what we've done with proxy is that you don't necessarily need to have a certain skill. All you need is an internet-enabled mobile phone, and you're good to go. You're good to earn, right? All you need to do is carry out tasks within your vicinity. Because remember, like I said, a lot of our tasks go to certain locations, and if you're within that location, you get pinged for the task, and you can execute that task. What it does is that you don't need to travel too far. Most of the time, it's somewhere, maybe a walking distance, or you take a shuttle bus or wherever, and you get that task done and you get paid for your task and you withdraw. So we no longer have people who are spending days and nights, job hunting with and bearing no fruits, right? You can continue your job hunts, while engaging on proxy. It also plays down to let me say, the people who maybe sell by the roadside, the people in the barber shops, the people in the hairdressing salons. It's not all the time that you're going to be booked and busy. So when you are not busy, when you are less busy, all you need to do is go on proxy, check if there are any tasks available to be executed, execute them, and get paid instantly.
So looking more or less like passive income for a lot of people.
Passive income for a lot of people. It could
Some
also
active.
be like, yes, an active source of income for a lot of
Yeah.
people as well, just depending on the amount of tasks you're able to execute in a day.
Okay, so but in a country like Nigeria, right? How does this model proxy has brought in play? How does it shape how people think about income, work, and opportunities?
Yeah, so in country like Nigeria, right, there's this popular saying that Nigeria youth are lazy, right? And, proxy is trying to change the narrative, right? So it's not just anything. We're just trying to impact people and trying to empower them for them to get on board. And one thing about proxy is that they don't have to wait till the end of the month to withdraw, right? At any point in time, they can use their wallet and withdraw into their bank account. Like, it's the superpower.
And also on proxy, one of the things as well is that we have various modes of communication. So you don't necessarily have to be, literate to use the platform, right? We have fields that allow the principal, that's the person requesting a task, to either make that task request in pidgin, in a different language if they need to, so that it appeals to everyone and anyone.
Oh, okay, so it makes it easier for whoever acts on your behalf to actually carry out
Exactly.
what you want to do.
Exactly.
Okay, that's great. So, but looking ahead, you can say this is more or less like the beginnings. Yeah, and I'm sure you guys are actually looking at getting more things done, and then looking at technology platforms like Proxy to create innovation, opportunities for innovation, transparency, and trust. So, what do you think is the next phase for Proxy? What do you think Proxy could be in future times to come?
So I would say the next phase for proxy is going to be more investing more in people, because if you want to think about the future, you should start with the people, because it's the people that will drive the process. It's the process that will determine the kind of product. So we invest more in our people. We'll train them. We'll see how we can equip them more with better tools, with better things that can make them to thrive in that space, right? Because proxy works in a video industry, I'll say video monitoring industry. So we invest more in infrastructure, like where we keep our video, the data. We also invest more in the AI part of proxy, because proxy will now be what do we do with those videos? We are getting a lot of videos, we are getting a lot of metadata. What do we do with the video? So we invest more in what we do with the video, whereby it's going to get to a point that you can forecast what is going to happen, right? So let's say, for example, somebody steal maybe your car here. You can predict that the person is going to pass Yaba, and you're going to catch the person at Yaba. That's where proxy is actually going. Proxy is not necessarily going to become God, but you're going to know where you need to catch your thief, where your thief is actually living, the area that the person is actually. So it's going to empower a lot of sector, cut across, the financial sector, the security sector, NGO, media space, it's going to impact a lot of sectors. So that's the future for us.
Oh, that's actually a great insight on how you feel about proxy. Michelle, would you want to say something on that?
Yeah, Paul has basically said it all, but what I would add is that we see proxy becoming a verb, right? Incorporated in everyday use, that's you and I, incorporated in the everyday use in different organizations, whether private organizations or government parastatals, just because of the capacity and the way we're expanding, the inclusion of AI already on our platform, and the further enhancements that we intend to make. It's video verification, video monitoring, which, if you think about it, applies to everyday living, right? Like Paul said in the beginning, you cannot be everywhere at once, right? You would need some oversight in some places that you're not able to get to, maybe because of cost. proxy is here for you, proxy is there for you, proxy is here to solve the problem you didn't even know existed, right? It's here to make lives easy for the people in Nigeria, and then eventually expand outside the shores of Nigeria to Africa and the rest of the world.
Oh, okay. So, but what's the single most important change that can improve SME credit access today when using proxy?
I think that's verification, right?
So like verification.
Verification, yeah, because verification as past you sending someone to verify someone, because the person you are sending may not have access to where the person is going to. There's a lot of barriers to getting to where the person is staying. That's one. Another thing is, right, we've seen a situation whereby uh, the person changed location, so you are not even sure whether the person is there. So there's a lot of barriers when it comes to like verification. Now, so I think for SMEs, what proxy is doing is that proxy enables them to verify themselves, because we now have a superpower, which is like the geotag, like the timestamp, and AI. Because of the way our AI works, right? You don't necessarily need to send someone to verify those SMEs. They themselves need to just own their live location, and proxy does the magic, right? So it's more like a pattern. We check where they are staying, we pick that location, and then we connect it with our algorithm, right, to verify whether the person is actually staying at that exact location. So for SME, I'll say verification is one of those things, because when you know where people stay, you have their data set, you can make informed decision. It's more like you know where your people are really staying. You can tell where they are real time, and then you can do whatever you want to do with that kind of data set. It will help them to make informed decision. There's a lot of insights. They can make strategic decision that is going to drive the SME industry. So
I think also for SMEs, right, it also is of benefit to those giving out credits to such people. They don't end up spending as much, because imagine if you want to give out, maybe you have a goal to increase the credit line you give out. That organization who is giving out credits maybe would be limited by their location, meaning that if you're situated in maybe a place like Yaba and you don't have too many personnel on hand, or they're all busy, it means that you cannot give out credits to maybe someone in Gwagwalada, because you would now have to spend resources to get someone there to go and verify the location. Proxy easily solves that in a matter of 5 minutes. Right. All you need to do, like Paul said, is ask the person who's asking for that credit to turn on their live location, take a video report of their inventory, or as you've described, or as the creditor has described, and then the task is done. So right from your seat in Yaba, you can see what that person's inventory looks like, and all of that. Yeah.
Okay, so you speaking about SMEs and the lenders, you like more or less telling us that the lenders are going to be like the principal, why the SMEs would be the proxy. Okay, no, so now we've been talking about having proxies on the channels, people who actually stand on behalf of those principals. Can you walk us through what's the process of becoming a proxy on proxy?
all right, so the process is very, very seamless and simple. One, you need to have a phone, right? It's very important that you are empowered. So you need to have a phone, a smartphone. Then you go to your store, whether you are using an iPhone or your Android, you download proxy, Proxze. Then you sign up as a proxy, Proxy. That name is somehow convincing, but you have to be very careful. So we have proxy, Proxze as a product name, and proxy, Proxy as the name of the person that is going to carry out the task. So you sign up as a proxy on the platform. You just fill in your details, your name, your email, and then you set up your password, you verify your account, then you are good to go. You receive the tax and you get the tax done.
So when we're looking at it much more broadly, what are your long-term vision for Sage Great Tech in building platforms that drives trust, transparency, and economic value?
Also for Sage Great Tech, right? Sage Great Tech is a technology provider, and what we do is we develop and deploy practical solutions. So I would say the future is still impact, more of impact-driven products that can actually, impact people. because we are not just building anyhow. We are not just interested in just to build any solution. We want to build solutions that are going to affect the people positively. So that's like the future plan for Sage Great Tech.
So, what commitments should lenders, borrowers, and regulators make right now to support technology-driven solutions like proxy?
I would think they should invest more in KYC verification, right? Because I think that's like the superpower. Because when they get to verify those people that they are lending or their money or facility, it will help them to make more a strategic decision on how to go about it.
So, we've been mentioning before, we've been talking about Sage Great Tech, and then we introduced you as Sage Great Finance. So, what's the relationship between these two companies?
Okay, so Sage Grey Technologies is a technology provider that develops and deploys practical and sustainable solutions across various sectors. It's sort of like a sister company to Sage Grey Finance. We develop the products. Sage Grey Finance finances the product, the development of those products, right? We have a lot of products, a lot of resources. We have a large team that's growing every day. We have various products. I think right now we have about maybe 5 products that are currently out in the market, and we have a lot of others coming up in the pipeline, hence the growing team. We have Split Multi, we have Trade Plus coming up, we have Proxy, we have other products like Inkiru Workflow. All these products do various things, from AI verification on Proxy to e-commerce on Split Multi, inventory financing and e-commerce on Trade Plus. Inkiru Workflow is a CRM to a virtual receptionist tool in Inkiru as well. We also deploy and develop products for other organizations. In-house, we just develop it and then hand it over to you to manage, or if you want Sage Grey Technologies to manage it, we can also do that. Yeah, so finance is just focusing on, is like, give us the money.
Okay, so what you're trying to say now is even you guys can actually go ahead and even develop softwares based on customers' requests,
Exactly that.
specifically to what the person requested for.
Exactly that. In the same way Sage Grey Finance provides advisory services for various products and projects, it's the same way Sage Grey Technologies is also capable of advising on certain products for external clients. Yeah, so we do have a client called Wayne Parker, who is developing a sort of like a gaming product that's out in the market currently. So yeah, that's basically what we do.
Do you know the name of the gaming product?
Yeah, it's called Lotto Now.
Oh, okay.
Yes, owned by Wayne Parker Limited.
Oh, that's wonderful. So actually, it's great actually hearing most of all of these things, because most of us don't even know most of these apps are software actually in play, and it's things that we can actually use in our day-to-day activities to help life much more easier for us, right?
It does.
So I think that's wonderful to actually hear. And with this, we'll come to the end of the show. I'd like to thank our humble guests. It's wonderful having you here. Thanks for your invaluable insights. And to our viewers, we say thank you for tuning in to Sage Grey, Inside Sage Grey. And you should always remember that it's not just about knowing what our guests have said. It's about making it practical to enable you to make the right decisions to certain aspects of your everyday activity. And with this, I would say thank you, and we hope to see you in the next episode.